Banco Beverage. Proudly serving the Lehigh Valley for over 80 years. It's 80 years. Say it with me. 80 years. It's a long time. Over 30 plus breweries distributed, including Miller, Yuengling, Pabst, Guinness, Heineken, plus a generous variety of imported and specialty brands. They are located at Crackersport Road in Allentown, PA. Can't get any more local than that, Lehigh Valley. Banco Beverage is locally owned, operated since 1933. They have an exceptional team of staff dedicated to making their customers happy. If you're interested in having Banco be your purveyor for whatever bar or establishment you own, you can go to www.bancobeverage.com. I have the information in the ads as well, and I want to thank Banco for coming on and being a sponsor. Myself and Tony are working on some projects, and we are going to be bringing some really cool content, as well as Banco is going to be providing for a lot of the things that we do event-wise. So thank you, Banco, again. Thank you, Tony, and check out Banco Beverage. Yeah, those are good.
That's a twister.
Cheers, gentlemen.
Twisty.
Cheers. Sorry, I'm not partaking. I'm on coffee for 2 months. Trying to get my health and wellness together.
Cheers. Yes, please.
But I will be back.
Please do. No, it's fine.
I will be back
do your
running
detox.
amok.
I respect it. We both respect it. We do the ebbs and flows.
Yeah, he's going to the gym after this.
Yeah, I'm actually supposed to be on a detox too, but
Here, let me adjust your mic a second. Pull yours a little bit closer.
Yeah.
Yo.
Keep going.
Yo. Yeah,
he gotta go up.
Hold up.
I'm good. Hello.
Hold on.
Hello. Oh, you want it?
Try there for a second.
No. You can move it further away. Your mic gotta go up. Volume.
Yeah, mic gotta go up.
Yeah, I'll adjust it. Try now.
Yo.
Yep.
Pull it in real close.
Yo.
Hold on.
Yo.
Yeah, now back up a little.
Now back up a little bit. Yeah.
Look at you.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Look at
Sometimes the dust. The dust.
Where did you go?
Yo, that's a killer radio voice.
We all suck.
What are you up to? What's new, man, since you've been on here last? What do you got the 2 shops?
Yeah,
what are you
got
doing
the
with clothing?
new shop open. Got the new shop with the hats. It's called Hat Project.
So it's just hats?
And it's all hats. I've always been a hat collector. I've always loved hats. Loved the collecting and everything pretty much about the hats. So when I had the opportunity to get this spot, I decided to give it a shot. It was like one of my dreams to have a whole hat store.
How's that been going?
It's been going well. We've been being received real good down there. It's dope.
Who's helping you run the spot down there?
Will you pull it closer?
My mom.
Mom Dukes.
Yep. Me and my mom.
Solid.
Holding it down.
Yeah, absolutely. Got
So we like going back and forth. But I mean, it's going good right now.
Is it just the two of you doing everything over there now?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me and my mom. My mom, I've always wanted to keep her away. Like, you know how growing up with your mom, like,
Yeah.
it's kind of tough, like, being around your mom all the time.
Listen.
But
Over my mom half my life, I understand.
But it came to a point where I needed to bring her. I needed some help.
Listen,
and my mom came through to help her boy.
Working with family can be extremely hard, but 9 times out of 10.
Nah, I appreciate it. I wish I would have did it a long time ago. Like after doing it,
it's someone you can trust.
It's like
right.
I know it's someone I could trust
with everything.
And she keeping me on my toes.
Right.
I think it's probably better you did it backwards, because I know I jumped into business with my brother, and I know your story kind of, they made you come up through the rungs, but working with somebody else or whoever you worked with, and I don't even know if you worked with other people, and I mean, things probably didn't work out. If it's just you and your mom, so then to be able to have her come in after seeing how it is to work with other people is probably way easier than trying to start with family.
Yeah. It was like something I was always just not trying to do. Like, my mom's retired. You know, she's at home. She takes care of my brother's kids and stuff. So, like, I didn't expect it to happen. It just happened out of pretty much necessity. I needed help real quick. It came to a point where I needed help. And she was like, "I'll come help you," you know.
And then all the employees you've been through and people that have you've had come through and help you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Obviously, I'm very intimate to the situation,
Yeah,
so I've seen it all come and go. And people, I mean, I don't think mom's really just gonna up and leave you or have a serious issue with the way the business is being ran. I think it'll be more of a conversation and something you guys work through and get through together than someone walking
we just
out.
Going by, we just feeling it out, you know.
Right.
I want to start building the team like this year. This is something I want to always. Like, I've always wanted to do it, but, like, I feel like this year I really want to try. It's one of my goals this year to really try to build a good team.
Oh, shit. You're little baby.
By team, you want to do, like, employees and have people helping out and bring on employees?
My goal would be to step back from the store a little bit and be able to just do a lot more design work. And I'm trying to focus on that. I'm going to school for design and stuff.
Hell yeah.
So I'm trying to focus a little bit on school and focus on more design and more of the creative process.
You doing stuff at NACAC or is it online stuff?
I go to NAC, yeah. It's dope. I love NAC, yo.
Yeah, I went back. I went back years ago for business, and it was cool that like I figured out what I wanted to do and then went to NACAC as opposed to my first time at NACAC, which was 13th grade, and then I went and hung over once.
Same.
Dude, it was the worst. I remember my buddy left, I had a Pontiac, was it a Grand Dam or something? It was like a 4-door, and I thought it was so cool because it had the sunroof.
Yeah.
And my buddy, we went to the bar. I drove. It was a nice summer night, and he left it open. And it rained the next day, and I woke up still drunk, and I'm like, "Fuck, man, I got to go to this class." And it was for like computer repair because I was like right when like computer was booming, and they were like, "You get a certificate for computers, and you could fix a copier and make a good living." And I'm like, "Oh, it sounds like something I'd want to do."
You look great in an office job.
Yep. So I remember I woke up. I had to get a ride from. It was either his mom or my mom had to take my drunk ass to the bar at the Holy Family Club because that's where I left the car. It's raining out. I get in and they were like bucket seats because it was like they kind of made it sporty, and I just sat in like a quart of water.
Oh, damn.
So I drive the whole time I'm driving there. I'm like, just go home, and I'm like, no, Catholic guilt, everything my mom always made me feel bad about. So I'm like, I go to and I would think I was still smoking cigarettes, where it's like you smoke a cigarette, the whole party comes back. I'm all fucking nauseous. And I remember sitting in the class, and the teacher took so many smoke breaks that they actually offered us to take the class again after the class was over. So many people complained because like every 5 minutes he'd be like, "I'm gonna smoke a cigarette. You guys want to take a break?" So
that's the cool part about college. There is cigarette breaks. Like, they give you a break, and it's like
you already paid for it.
And I'm like,
right.
So on the first cigarette break, I had already packed my shit up, and I remember I went back to my buddies. He's like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm done with NACAC." I'm like, I'm taking a nap on your floor because my mom doesn't know I dropped out yet. And then so going back the second time, it was for taking business classes, and it was cool because like I had just started Never Again, and there was a guy in the class who was only in there to kind of learn a little bit about it. So we had partnered up, and he was in like apparel for snowboarding, and he was connected to the Burton industry somewhere where he was like doing stuff with that. So that guy kind of like took me under his wing, and it was really the only reason I actually learned a lot because my teacher, it was a night class, and my teacher was like my old gym teacher at like Notre Dame, cool. And I'm like, oh, you're not. I'm like, you're not running a business. So to work hand in hand with a business guy, it was awesome. I want to go back for cooking stuff. I think once I get open and there's like a little bit of a downtime, I think I want to start taking like, because you can go over there and take like knife skill classes.
They have an amazing culinary program, no joke.
Yeah, no, they're like ranked second in the nation. I think it's Pittsburgh and then NACAC. But I'd like to go back and kind of start hitting them up for resources. I know another dude who's going back for fitness. That's one of the reasons
why I really wanted to go to school, like, because I wanted to tap into the people that was like being creative and doing creative things, and it kind of gave me a lot of creative motivation after going to school, like after doing the projects and stuff. Like it really opened my mind to like, art and
Yeah, what's the
like
major?
that.
Is it for like graphic design?
Yeah, it's communications design. So
Yeah.
it's like graphic design and art. So I'm taking drawing classes, painting classes, all kinds of stuff like that.
All digital on the computer.
And there's digital classes, and there's also painting.
It's cool.
Drawing and stuff. I just took drawing. My first 2 classes was drawing 1 and intro to 2D design. So it was like just
did you have to
all
take like math and science, or is it all non-credited stuff where it's more like...
my major, I have to take some English classes, but thankfully I don't got to take no math.
Yeah. That's what always spooked me out of it.
Yeah.
Now, what is it like? We both know because we both did it. How does it feel to be 9 times out of 10 the old guy in the class, and now
it's crazy,
right? And now you're
crazy, but it's cool because like I'm somebody I got an open mind, so like
right.
I like being around younger people, and I kind of like
course.
love to pick their heads and see what they.
Well, then it's
their
good to
minds
connect with
are
that
at.
generation
yeah, it's cool.
too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Especially with your brands and all
Yeah,
that.
well, my clothing, I always got to do that. I always have to feel like especially
Get back
now.
to the youth.
Now when I feel a little older, like I never felt as old as I feel now. Like I feel like a little older now, you know.
Right.
And I'm always got that in my mind. Like, nah, I gotta tap back in with the younger crowd. You know?
Right. Well, going to college is definitely gonna
So
help with
that's
that.
yeah. So I went to college kind of for that, and just to meet people. And I know there's a lot of people in my school like that have brands and stuff.
Are
I
you
really
networking well?
Yeah, so I'm networking. I'm looking to start a club. I'm trying to do a streetwear club.
No shit.
Yeah, so I can just get
Right on the
people-
campus?
Yeah, right on
Yeah.
campus. Yeah, so like that's my next
Why not?
thing I'm trying to do at school is I'm trying to start a club.
Bring knowledge of the culture,
Where-
knowledge to your clothing.
I didn't
Yeah,
even
knowledge
think
to
about that
everything,
there's probably
right?
other kids in the class
There's tons
building brands.
Yeah. You know, I know a lot about clothes, so like when I walk around and I kind of see somebody wearing something, I
Yeah.
know I could tell that it's something that they made or something that somebody made. It's not like, and I see a lot of it. Like I see all kinds of different.
It would be fun to just go back to get fucking energized, to just get
Yeah.
back into what you're passionate about.
Yeah, and I feel like that's what it did for me. You know what I'm saying? Like I was at a point where I was a little bit creatively just blocked right at when I went to school. Like, and within the first couple weeks of school, I felt like it just went away. Like
Adding something that big into your process, especially
Yeah.
something on do you do Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or do you do?
I do like Tuesdays and Thursdays. This next semester, I'll probably do a couple more days in a week.
I mean, either way, you have 2 shops to run, so no one's,
Yeah,
no
so
one's
it was
trying to
kind of
force
hard,
you
but
to-
like it's just like you just got to get into it, and then like, cause I'm the type of person that I have a lot of things going on, so
you
I'm
fall into
juggling.
patterns.
Yeah, so
I know
I'm juggling.
you. We know each other.
I'm juggling a lot of shit, so
Yeah.
it's like sometimes shit gets pushed off, and I feel like this semester I learned that you can't really you just got to do a little bit at a time.
1% every day, baby.
Just do a little bit at a time of everything that you need to do, and you're gonna get it done, and you'll be more calm. Like I'm the type of person that just goes super hard, and then at the end I'm just like,
Yeah, you
man,
crash.
now I'm crashed. Like
Right.
I don't got the, you know what I'm saying? So I'm trying. I feel like with this semester of school, I learned that I just got to go in and just do it little by little. Make sure every day I'm doing something.
Yeah, everyone's
And-
different. We all got to approach that
Yeah,
shit differently.
yeah.
You know, but we all got to find what works for us. And
Yeah.
Energy levels.
Yeah.
Even with just getting back into the swing of work, like I took time off last week. I was sick, but then at the same time I wanted to take like time off because I know my next venture this year I'm not going to have any time off
At all.
So like I'm really paying attention
Yeah.
to like you better sit and
Yeah.
take your fucking 5 minutes now. So it's
Yeah.
like, I mean, I'm ready to do that, but I'm also like getting older and maturing and like, I'm sure it's like everybody here, you've been in a business or doing multiple businesses and doing stuff. And at this point that you can't go 100% here, then
Yeah.
also when you get older, you don't have the energy you did in your 20s to go super fast here. Like I remember I used to stay up super late and then would get up early and then would just
Keep
be like
going, yeah.
going and
I
going.
needed
and
this
going.
cup of coffee.
Yeah, I needed that
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
So like
I
being
didn't
in
even
the
know
business,
what coffee was in the early days.
being
No.
in a business for over 10 years, like I feel like this is the year where I'm starting to see like, oh nah, like certain things are important,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to miss those things. I took 2 days 2 days from New Year's till today was my first day back at work. But in those 2 days, I did things that I appreciated so much that I didn't realize that I wasn't really doing. You know what I'm saying? I went to the movies.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? With my nephews and shit. I chilled with my girl all day and watched movies. Like, you know what I mean? Like, shit like that is like you sit back and you're just like, oh, shit. I'm not doing enough of this. You know
Intentional
what I'm saying?
time. My boy Joey Styles was just talking to me about that the other day. It's necessary, especially the older we get in life, because we're more stuck in routine, right? As kids and, you know, and young adults, you know, the routine placed before us, you know, maybe we don't always have routine placed before us, but we stick ourselves in it. You know what I mean? And sometimes some people's lives are a little bit more chaotic, but 9 times out of 10, we stick ourselves in a routine. And, you know, I find it's better, you know, now later in life, that we aren't in such a routine besides like work, you know, because everyone kind of wants to crash after that, right? Everyone does their 9 to 5, and then that's kind of, we need to set more intentional time, whether it be with your nephews or our parents, or it's just a phone call, or
because I find even just chilling, like even like I've bought so many books and not read them just because I'm so like,
I don't want to talk about it.
I'm just I
don't want to talk about it.
I moved over to Audible because I was sick of wasting money on books.
And I just, you know what I mean? I do so much, and my days are so crammed that I have so much shit to do that I'm 10 years later, I'm looking back at the 10 years before, like, damn, I didn't really enjoyed nothing. You know what I'm saying? Like I enjoy the journey. I love what I do, but I gotta, like, I learned that I gotta just take things one thing at a time.
Well, there's that caveat to it, though. There's that caveat to it, and we talked about it on our podcast. You kind of gotta put in 10 ridiculously hard years.
Yeah.
Like I
appreciate all my years.
Right,
you know
that's what I mean. Yeah. If you want to get to the point where you survive off of what you built, or even with what I have going on, I still had to put in an extra hard set of 10, and I'm going to have to put in an extra hard set more probably, but none of us care. We'll all do it again, you know what I mean? But at this point in life, you know, the older we get, that intentional time means something, and we have to be sure to do it.
A lot of it's from making mistakes too, where like, you know, when the people talk about that 10 years, it's like 10 years of fucking up. Like, it was like you fuck up enough to where you finally get to year 10 and you're like, okay, I shouldn't do that. And then it's like, you know, I've said it countless times on here, the amount of times I ruined relationships by running this before everything. And I look back on it, and it was a necessary thing that I think if it was the correct woman, she would have saw what I was doing and we would still be together. But the fact that I had to put something ahead of people and I did that, like, I saw what it kind of created. And if you do that too much, it really narrows things down. But that's what's exciting about going into new ventures, is that, like, I know, like, I keep telling everybody, the partners and everything, I'm like, the main thing we got to worry about is not burning out. I'm like, I have burned out in that industry of food multiple times. I'm like, we need to do these days off. We need to have a shutdown for a week. That's going to give things to our employees. And it's like, I know that from working full-time jobs plus running this, working 2 jobs and running this. And it's like, you got to really pay attention to those energy levels, because you could end up into some really mucky shit where you start getting depressed. You start getting into shit where you think you need to go to the hospital. And it's like, it gets fucking muddy, but no one ever talks about, like, that's in that first 10 years.
I'll talk about it.
It's in that time.
I'll talk about it, yeah.
That's in that time of, you know, that's the time when you're not making money, or you make money, but then it's gone because you don't know what you're doing, and then, or you don't know where to invest it. And it's like, that 10 years is so, I know why people say that time, why your time's worth money, because of the lessons you've learned are priceless, and that most people won't put in that time, or even if they don't, they're not going to be as successful, because you need to fuck up. You need to know what not to do.
And when you hit that 10 years, your fuck ups don't even feel like nothing, bro.
No.
Well, you've accepted at that point that it's not a loss, it's a lesson. Right? Because if you want to be in the position that we're all striving to be in, you accepted that losses aren't losses, they're lessons a long fucking time ago, right?
Now,
you know what I mean?
If I fuck up during the day, I'm just like, all right, we're done for today. We're done for the day. We're packing up. I'm pissed off. And then, like, sometimes I need to do that where I'm like, fuck it, I'm going on a hike and I just need to shut down for the day, and we'll get back at this tomorrow, and let's not do this for another fucking 6 months.
That's something I've noticed that he's been doing lately that I'm a big fan of, because this young man, whether he wants to admit it or not, used to run himself into the absolute fucking ground. You know what I mean? Yeah. And then wonder why, literally run himself into the ground and then wonder why he was run into the ground.
Yeah.
Right.
I've been through a lot, you know what I'm saying? I'm learning now that I got to just take things at a time and have fun.
Right.
Because that's what I lost in a couple years in. I stopped having fun. It was just like brutal to me. It was
turned into
like,
work.
Alopecia.
It turned into like, yeah, bro. I started losing my hair. I started losing, like, it was just very, very stressful, and it was just not enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? Like now it's still like should be still stressful. I still go through it, like, but
of course.
But I'm starting to realize now, like, it was all. I mean, it's all worth it. You know
the more time you put in, the more you put into your craft, the more studying and everything in every area and every aspect.
And then sometimes you got to take a step back and look at everything you got too. You know, everything you've done.
You're gonna
already.
stress less.
Like, oh,
yeah.
You know, matter of fact, I'm good. You know,
you're gonna stress less.
That's how I feel right now. Like at this point in my life, I feel like I built this shit pretty well. You know, and everything is gonna come. You know, not I could work a little bit easier now. I could be more comfortable. I could have fun and really enjoy what I do.
It's important
before everything else.
It's important to keep the aspect of it's gonna come, because like I had a conversation with a friend of mine, and like I'm so ready for the next part of what I want to do, and I'm all waiting on other people. And that was the biggest lesson I learned, because I'm the type of person that'll just go through a fucking wall, pick up the mess all year long, and then get it done. But when you get to a point where it's a little bit more serious, and there's other people are involved, and there's partners, and there's money on the table, like I built everything of this from the ground up from nothing. So it's like tomorrow, if I wanted to pack the shit up, it doesn't matter. I just gotta go to get a job. But when you have other people sitting at the table, it's not on your timeline at all. And it's been very crucial for me to kind of just start slowly being like, it's all right if this isn't happening now, and you have to take the fact of like, this is how far you came, and you built this from nothing, and where you're going is from that. And at what point in the last 20 fucking years didn't you make this happen? And sometimes it's important to take that step back and be like, and a friend of mine told me that today when I was like talking to her, and I'm like, man, I just want to start the cooking show. I want to fucking cook. Like, I just want to get this
hard
open.
on yourself.
And I'm like, I don't want to be doing this, in a sense of like, in my mind, it's already the new shop. And I'm sure it's similar when you're building out the hat place and all that, and like you have it in your head, but you don't want to wait for it to be there. And then she was like, look, she's like, it's around the corner. She's like, when have you not completed your goals? When have you not, everything that comes out of your mouth, 90% of the time you make it happen. She's like, cut yourself some fucking slack. And like, I ride myself too hard sometimes, where I have these outrageous expectations of this shit, and I'm just like, dude, just let it happen. You didn't make, but in reality, I didn't.
Sometimes just make it happen too. You know what I'm saying? Like, just make it happen, bro. Get on your shit and go get shit done. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes all the worrying and all the thinking and all that shit just ruins everything. You gotta
ruins it.
You gotta just get up and go. Yo. You know what I'm saying? You gotta go and do it.
I'd venture to say that anyone that's in a position anywhere like we are feels the same exact way. There's no time to sit and worry about anything. It's due.
Sometimes you can't.
It's due.
Sometimes it's literally no time.
Right. It's due
to be worried.
You have to pivot. You have to pivot on the spot.
Those times is what helps you get through. Like I said, like certain things go bad and I don't feel that bad, is because I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? I know that I can't feel bad. You know, I can't. You know.
Do you think school is helping you with the confidence as well? Not just artistic vision or vision for the business, but confidence in yourself as a owner and brand owner, designer.
I feel like a lot of things has built my confidence. You know, I had to go through a lot of things, and the way, like, you know, me and you, we had some real talks. You know what I'm saying? I didn't talk to you with my eyes balling out, and you didn't pick me up from the ground, like, nigga, like, you got this, bro. Like, you got this. And I've had multiple talks like that, and multiple experiences that I've got myself through, and I've looked back, and I step back and look at the progress, and I don't know. I feel like I've just had like I feel like it rejuvenated a little bit, you know, over all those things in school as well, you know, school and my creative process. Sometimes I just gotta sit back and realize, like,
you need to reflect.
Yeah, reflect. Exactly.
That's one thing that you have always lacked, and I feel like you're gaining recently over the last few years. And I feel like the last 6 months you've really honed in on reflecting and understanding what you've accomplished over the last 10 fucking years. Because do remember, this started with an ACG logo in a fucking basement.
I remember.
Right.
And I've also realized the more important things too, you know? Mm-hmm. Like, I went through these whole 10 years just focused on one thing and one grind and one mission. I could not fail. Like, if I failed, I had to keep going. It was just like, I don't want to say running on a hamster wheel because I was doing different shit, but it was just like grind.
Yeah.
And I feel like just in these last 6 months, I started like really looking.
Do you realize the goal is different?
Lose. I also don't want to I don't want to lose what's around me. I don't want to lose the good people around me that love me. I don't want to lose all those relationships that I've fucked up on the grind, like on the mission. Like those certain things start to be more. I mean, I guess I'm getting older. You know what I'm saying? I'm starting to feel like I don't want to be without a lot of these things. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And in order for me to do it right, I have to give a lot of different things my attention.
The other thing too is I picked up on when you said the grind, and when you talked about in the basement is like when you reflect on like where it starts, and like for me it was like living above a bar, dating a heroin addict, and quitting drinking at the time, and it's like for me that moment. I couldn't even tell you how that was because I just ground so hard from the moment I was like, hey, I'm starting this clothing thing. And I remember I fucking went on LegalZoom and put the last amount of fucking whatever fit on my credit card. And I was like trademarking and I don't even know what the fuck I was doing. And like, there was no other avenue for me other than to just keep going. And people would always be like, I don't know how, people now still say, they're like, I don't know how you're doing all this. And to me, I've slowed down. And sometimes when I slow down, I'm afraid to slow down because my core existence was always that grind, and I don't need to grind anymore because I ground so fucking hard that I'm like up here that even if I stopped grinding, I would slowly be floating down. But in that time, I'm gonna make myself go back up. So it's like at this point I've maintained, but it's weird not waking up and thinking that I have to just work as hard as I possibly can. And at this point, I shouldn't be doing that. I should be working smarter and like making better decisions. And you know, a lot of things that I've been paying attention to in the last 2 years is like, is that worth that squeeze? Is that worth the grind? Is that worth the work? What am I getting out of that? And a lot of decision making with that.
Sometimes that grind, that nonstop grind, takes you away from doing everything that you're actually able to do.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it takes you away from your actual goals.
Yeah. So you're just grinding. I have a store, so I have a storefront. So every day when I go in the store, I have to get people to come to the store. Like I can't just be like, all right, open the door and just. Every day has to be something. I have to think of a creative way or some kind of way that's gonna get people to come to the store. I have to take photos. I have to put things online. I have to make sure everything is all good. Also, while thinking about designing and you know what I'm saying, like it's just like.
That's
every
day
is a nonstop grind. Yeah. So every day is just nonstop. You know what I'm saying? So once you're in that little rat wheel, all the things that you have the potential to do don't get done because you're in this wheel. You're just, all right, gotta get people to come in the store, gotta take pictures, gotta do this, gotta do that,
which is fine when you don't know what you're doing.
But
when you're just rolling the dice.
When you figure it out and you got a store and all that, you really have to change that focus over to what.
And I also feel like I got the potential to do so much more that I never did.
Well, now you have someone you can trust running the storefront, so the ability to do so.
And that's why I want to build. I also want to build a team that I could show and like put the seed in. You know what I'm saying? Because I came from a team like that. I'm a product of a home based team that and everything that I've done in my retail career goes back to that. And it was in the beginning times of
shout out to Poe.
Yeah, shout out to Poe. It's a beginning time when Andy started like building his team. You know what I'm saying? I came in a couple years after they opened, but when I came in, it was like, all right, we're gonna like. It was a point where I remember Andy was trying to get more organized and trying to.
Do you think he was one of the first people in the Valley to build a team out like that?
Well, this was
This
was his second team though. This was the second base vintage team that he's talking about.
No, I'm talking about in home base.
Oh, true.
I used to work at home base.
That's true. You did. I remember.
I'm talking about the home base in the South Side. Yeah.
Like, but if you really,
he's the first one. Who was doing it like him?
No one. Which is why I think he's still relevant and he's able to have 2 stores. And it's like if you really pay attention to what he did back then, and it's like I only had a couple of interactions running into him, and both times he was working.
We're both students of Poe.
Yeah.
We're both students of Poe.
I'm a big student of Poe.
Right.
What he did is it was like you could see it getting done. Like I don't know how to explain it. Like he was more in tune than a lot of stores out here, and what he did is the reason why his stores are
especially with his demographic.
Yeah, and he built his team and he treat his workers good. He put love into them. Like of course, in any business, there's gonna be conflicts with your boss. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like he built the team and built a foundation where he can teach other people. Like I learned that this shit is teachable, and Andy was straight teaching that shit. When I left working from home base, I was ready to open my store, whether I fucked it up or not. You know what I'm saying? I was ready to open my store.
You didn't fuck it up too bad, and you did it. You opened a store.
And I was ready to go. You know what I'm saying? I learned so much working in that store about inventory. Even down to talking to a customer. Like this was something that he taught me. Like it was like in a textbook. You know what I'm saying? Like it wasn't something that like he just like you just learn off of just being around him. But he
purposefully teaches in real time.
He purposely teaches, and he fucking
while on the job, Poe will teach you in real time. I can't wait till we can get him on this show. He's a pleasure. He's an absolute pleasure of a human being.
We've always rubbed elbows over the year just because of his skateboarding and whatnot, and I always had mutual people crossing over. But there was one thing I always saw with him is that he was always working on a higher level with that shop, and it was.
He's on a higher level than all of us, though. No joke.
But I mean, from a Valley perspective, I feel like he was running that like a New York City, Brooklyn skate shop. Like it was joke.
Look at how he's in tune with all the cities and all the boards. And
Andy's always in tune, like with these brands. Like he's the first, from what I ever seen. You know what I'm saying? He built relationships with these brands. You know what I'm saying? He's doing things with.
He was getting
brands.
Nike SB exclusive releases when they.
He was like the first. Back then, drop. It was like his store was in the cut, and that was like his. That was like his trial time. You know what I'm saying? Where he started up, but he has a lot of roots into the streetwear industry. You know what I'm saying? His brother is a huge part of the culture down the LRG. Andy was the first person with LRG out here. Like,
his brother actually helped launch the brand.
Exactly,
helped launch LRG, and his brother.
Crazy.
Yeah, his brother is now. He owns. Oh, I'm gonna misspeak, so I don't want to say it, but his brother's Clocks and Arrows.
I'm not
something
sure.
Like that, but it's a brand that's done collabs with Adidas and this and that. I mean,
cool seeing
he owns it. I forget
the big brands doing those one-off collabs and breaking off and doing shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, obviously you have to be networked and plugged into the industry, and he obviously is because he started out on the ground level with LRG and all that. But I mean, that not only that, Poe took it. Poe took it to the next level.
I feel like Poe just built a lot of relationships with his brands.
Poe took it to the next level.
And I've learned that. You know what I'm saying? Going with Andy to these places, like he would take me to Agenda Show, and it was like he was the rapper. Like everyone knew him. You know what I'm saying? Every brand would come up to Andy.
His confidence.
And he was just like, you know what I'm saying? It was dope. He took me to a dinner with the Vans owner before. You know what I'm saying? Like all these different things, and he had that years ago.
Poe, if you can't tell, we want you on the podcast, baby.
Love you, Poe. But yeah, I learned a lot from Poe, and like I want to be able to have that kind of impact on people. I feel like I have, you know what I'm saying? I feel like I've tried to put my seed in a lot of people. Pause.
Damn.
But
We'll clip that out.
I feel like I've put in a lot of work, you know what I'm saying, and inspired a lot of people to.
But I understand what you're saying because, and we talked about this on my podcast, which I'm sure we'll reflect on a few times. That push ahead that he's doing.
Yeah.
You know, Poe and I recently we're trying to do lunches again. And last time we were out when we spoke about it again, I mean, that push ahead is just, every time I talk to him about it, man, it like grabs nerves and just jerks them. Cause I mean, this dude's really trying to like help kids that don't see a path.
What's Push Ahead for people who don't know what Push Ahead is?
So Push Ahead is a program that's based on skateboarding for, now it's in elementary schools, and it's just helping kids, you know, get more involved in like skateboarding and extracurricular activities that aren't the norm, you know? But the end goal is a school, an institution, you know, and hopefully a high school. So you can help the kids that will, you know, the skateboarders in high school that don't have any direction, you know what I'm saying? And give them real life skills, you know? But navigating the intricacies of working out a school and paying people to run it and, you know, setting up that program, it's tough, man.
I'm sure.
Yeah. And I have to be honest with you, he's handling like the logistics of all of that, and I'm not even stepping in because his baby steps are insanity. His baby steps have lasted like the last 6 years. This dude is a mutant. You know what I mean? It's insane. But it'll be exciting to see where that ends up, which I believe
mad smart, yo.
It's
smart.
ridiculous. He's next level. I believe that'll help the Valley a lot. I believe it'll be a good program that'll help the Valley's youth a lot once it gets implemented into a high school version. You know, I do.
That's crazy.
Yeah, it is. It's nuts.
And there's a lot of products of the home base team. You know what I'm
running
saying?
around all over the place.
Yeah,
he stops nobody from going to pursue the next
not
step.
that he don't stop. He puts you in that position to
be
that.
able to do that.
You know
Correct.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
no, I agree 100%.
As a young kid, you don't realize that, but like after you get older, it's like your parents always telling you something, and then you get older. It's like, damn,
right.
Yeah.
Damn, he was right. You know what I'm saying? I would always remember Andy telling me like, this is gonna set you up for what you you really want to do. And I've always give thanks to Andy. I feel like I talk about Andy on every podcast I ever did.
I've only done one podcast prior to this, and we
dad.
talked about Poe then too. He's just an influence. That's what he's a
OG.
real life influencer. I'm not talking about any of this social media bullshit. That motherfucker really will guide lives. I can't imagine how many he's directly and indirectly impacted at this point.
The OG.
Shout out to the OG. Turned into a Poe podcast.
It's not a bad thing.
It ain't a bad thing. I'm looking at the Cameron. You got the picture of Cameron with the fuzzy pink hat on the cell phone in the back there.
Yeah.
And Poe got a crazy pic where he's in a little Halloween uniform, dressed up as Cameron like that, and I keep looking at it. Fucking make me laugh.
That's probably one of my favorite. She did a lot of cool shit for me. You guys
did
fuck
that?
with a lot of art?
Who did? Yeah.
Her name's Chrissy. She owned. Where was she doing work at? It was in it was Pop Mart in American Hairlines.
Okay.
I don't think it's there because of the pandemic and all that. And then her and her daughter are doing lowbrow, highbrow, and they have an old '70s van, and they fill it up, and they do like little flea markets and shit. They started that during the pandemic. They put on there's some people doing some cool shit around here. They put on I think it's called like Play It Back, and they've done 2 of them now because I did the burgers at the event. But they do like it's kind of like a swap meet, and they have different people coming out, and it's crazy seeing the vintage shirts come back out and around, dude. It was funny, man, because like my partner with food, Gina, like she doesn't rub elbows with a lot of that stuff, and I love doing stuff like that and seeing stuff like that. But like the vintage shirts of like shit that we grew up wearing, selling for like $65, $75. I'm just like, dude, it was nuts watching
There's
all
this
that.
little shop in New Hope.
I love New Hope.
I fucking love New Hope. I'm such a geek for New Hope.
I'm gonna fall in love with a witch down there.
I'll do it right now. There's this little like vintage shop in the Cut. I forget the name of it, but yeah, no, I mean stuff that we would just go buy for like $10 back in the day is definitely like 50, $60, especially in good condition right now. But it's dope as fuck still.
Yeah.
And then you see companies circling back. I wear a company that I'm not gonna plug right now because they ain't never gonna give me shit. But shout out to them. They're overseas. They're bringing back designs that look like old Metallica and old AC/DC and they're dope as fuck. I wear them. You know what I mean?
Fashion cycles back.
Yeah.
All the time. All the time. Now, okay, this is a question I want to ask you as a fashion guy. Where do the trends start? I have my opinion because I'm a little bit of a fashion guy.
What's your opinion?
My opinion, honestly, is Europe. My opinion's Europe. My opinion is, I'd say Paris for the most part. But not like the runways of Paris, like the streets of Paris, like the youth of Paris.
Yeah. I feel like I could agree with that. And Japan.
And Japan.
But in the US, in the States.
But I think versions of those two things are usually developed by like, because I'll see some slick shit that somebody's doing overseas, or like I'll find like an avenue that I want to go down.
Japan is way ahead too.
Yeah, I love like the Yakuza
they're my
street
favorite.
culture.
Yeah, they're my
You start
favorite.
getting into like Japanese
Japan
streetwear.
brought the vintage back. I feel like Japan was on vintage before we were. Like Japan was more like was a reason why all this shit kind of turned back to 90s flow, like baggy pants and all that shit. I feel like
baggy's coming back. I was at Five and Dime.
And
I was talking to the kid there. I'm like, you got anything for big boys, man? What the fuck?
Yo, you know what the fuck?
He's like, it's coming back. I'm
I
like,
think they
where's
have
the double XL?
a brand of jeans that's called like Big Boys. Or
Yo,
shit.
you know what came back? Jinko. JNCO.
I had that in I think 7th grade.
Yeah, no, for sure. Yes, absolutely. In the late '90s, early '90s. Yeah, nah. I seen someone wearing a pair with the big joints, and I asked them, I'm like, are those Jinkos? They were like, yeah. I'm like, how long have you had those? I just bought them. What the fuck?
Yeah.
I had no idea that was even still a thing.
I think I maybe had like one pair of Jankos, but my mom was always heavy on like, wouldn't let us get too fucking wild with shit.
Yeah.
So I was always kind of a little reserved, but they were still big. But then when Girl came out and they started dropping like jeans, and they started dropping like the real simple logo T-shirts where it was like the girls' bathroom logo, and that was it. There was another one they dropped with like just like a goldfish on it. Like in the 90s, there was a lot of like really simply branded like skateboarding stuff.
Fucked.
Fucked was really cool.
Yo, that shit was.
Yeah. I mean, what's crazy is Corey from Five and Dime, his cousin.
That's his cousin.
Yeah. I'm gonna start getting in his ear. I want to interview that dude.
Dude, Yo, I love his brain is one that we need to
Corey
pick.
every time I see him that I want to meet him. I'm like, yo, I want to meet your cousin, bro. He's like, all right, we're gonna make. It's been like 2 years. I'm asking him, like, yo,
I'm sure he's a very
cousin, bro.
Because like.
My store was his store was Five and Dime, the first Five and Dime.
Yeah. Corey's we could do something with Corey too.
That's cool as hell.
Yeah, it was really awesome interviewing him because he started that store when he didn't know what he was doing. And then for all these years later to come back when he didn't do it for money and he wanted to do it for the simple fact of I want to run a successful skate shop because I was too young and I fucked it up as a kid. And then for him to actually turn that shop into like an actual shop in the valley, not just move. Yeah,
he's doing well.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy. They got a great team. They have good product. It's not like they carry a bunch of bullshit.
They carry cool shit.
Extra large.
Like they really love it. You know what I'm saying? Like
he's the only one that carries fucked.
That's the culture of
outside of online.
He is the only retailer in the fucking world. Isn't that crazy?
That's awesome.
It's insane. I love it too.
Yeah.
I think it's real cool, man. And like you said,
they're good dudes, man.
Listen, they're for the culture, which is something that I don't like. I love it when a shop opens up like that and they can answer any question you pop at them when you walk through the door. I'm not a fan of something like that where someone has to go get the manager.
Yeah, now like growing up in a skate shop and learning the ways of a skate shop, you automatically know what kind of, like, you go into Zoomies and you go into Five and Dime, you feel you could tell the difference. You know what I'm saying? In the cultures. I learned all that stuff working in home base, obviously, but like it was more about the kids that came through and like learning why things wasn't cool. Like in skateboarding, if it gets too cool, it's not cool.
It's not cool no more.
Like nah, it's too cool. Like nah, we can't do that no more. Like then they go back to what's not cool.
Right.
And then that gets cool.
Yeah.
Then that gets cool, and they're like, nah, that's too cool. Like I learned that. Like they get excited about something, and then after it's already like everyone's excited about it, they're not excited about it no more.
Yeah, with skateboarding, it seems like once it goes mainstream and out of like their lane, then that. I mean, it's been harder over the years with like Lil Wayne and bigger people kind of getting into it, but like
Lil Wayne just went pro.
That's crazy. So like when
what do you think about that?
I don't know. I don't watch it enough closely anymore.
Is he a good skateboarder?
I don't know. I've seen like a couple.
Last
I mean,
time
it was better than me.
Skateboard. It looked like maybe me when I was a kid.
Yo, but he's been skateboarding for over 10, 12 years, trying. You know, and putting in work, and helped us. I feel like he helped the
Truck
skate
Fit
community a little bit.
Truck
you know what
Fit
I'm saying?
definitely
Truck
helped
Fit is I mean, like Truck Fit went crazy mainstream and kind of like.
Yeah, it died out. I doubt it's even a brand anymore. But I mean, it did. It's
just like a conversation. Like this is the kind of conversations I would have in the skate shop. And I'd be like, yo, Lil Wayne skateboarding, that's dope. Like me as the non-skater, you know what I'm saying? And the skater would be like, man, that ain't cool, man. Like he's trying to, you know what I mean? Like he's trying to cross into art.
He's a fucking poser,
and to
man.
me, I'm just like, yo.
He's a fucking poser, man.
To me, I'm like, that's dope. Like he's trying, you know what I'm saying? And I want to try. Like I'm trying to get down with y'all, you know. But it was just like that's how I always have those conversations, and like people from the store would always put me on like what's cool, what's not cool, like what you could do, what you can't do. You know what I'm saying? And I definitely kind of got in tune with the skate community like that, you know, learning, asking questions.
It's like similar to hanging out in a tattoo shop. It's like hanging out all day bullshit, and there's like because usually there were skate videos playing in a tattoo shop, and then it's like you kind of find out like, oh, I want to get this tattoo. Oh, that's stupid. What are you getting barbed wire for?
So they're watching. Who was that? Who was that team? That stunt team, Star Boys.
Yeah.
Sitting there watching Star Boys.
Is that culture still around in the community for like street bike shit?
So it's gotten.
I know the dirt bike shit's wild in the cities.
It's gotten
like that.
a little.
I've watched some documentaries on that. That shit's wild.
It's gotten a little crazier, and I can't even answer that for you anymore. It seems to be more dirt bikes and quads.
The 12 o'clock boys.
It seems to be more.
If you're into documentaries, it's a fucking awesome documentary.
Right. Yeah, that is an awesome documentary. Back when we were involved in that shit, and with the Star Boys and everything, it was more like a. You know, they would close down a stadium or like a drag strip or something like that and do stuff. Now it just seems like all street stuff with dirt bikes and four-wheelers. But I can't exactly answer that. I'm so far removed from the culture, really.
Yeah, that's how I was with the skateboarding when you asked about Lil Wayne.
I'm so far removed from the culture nowadays. When I ride my motorcycle, it's with like two people. I'm
I'm on a Grom on back roads.
Bro.
My fat ass on a mini bike.
Fuck that. I stay away from all that shit. That's how you get rear-ended by a fucking motorcycle.
I want to ask a couple people about that. Like, it's just like I want to see what they think about that. Now, I asked this question before when I was a kid and I was in a skate shop. Like, yo, what do you think about Lil Wayne skating? And now I want to see what I want to hear what a lot
culture
of people,
shifted.
Overall,
right? Overall, so I don't know.
This is how I look at it with my mind. In my mind, I'm like, yo, he been skating for mad long now. Like now he's actually, I'm sure he skates every day.
Well, you see Bieber. Yo, Bieber can skate too. Yeah. I saw some slick shit, him doing some stuff. I was like, damn, man, like.
These guys are billionaires.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they can get a fucking ramp built. They can afford the best fucking
Lil Wayne has it on his rooftop.
Coaches. They can fucking afford the best boards and all. I mean,
and I'm sure when your life's that fucking wild.
Even if you can afford the best boards and you can get all the coaches, bro, that shit is hard.
It's real hard.
I know all about it.
You have to break your legs and hurt yourself a lot over and over and over and over and over.
I never tried to be a pro, but I skateboarded my whole little life.
That's what I'm saying.
And I was never great at it, but I could keep a skateboard on a road and ride it. But I'll tell you what I did a lot was fucking fall, man. And that shit hurts.
And that teaches
like
you, you know? That teaches you to get back up. So imagine how many times I've seen Lil Wayne in cast and broken legs.
True.
Plenty of times.
True,
bro.
Yeah, you're right.
You know?
Well, I mean, their lives are so wild. It's probably such a direct focus that it's probably such a getaway for them to go do that.
Yeah.
Because you can bring a skateboard any fucking where.
Yeah. But I mean, say you take 2 hours out of your fucking day of like music, and I'm sure it's just like anything else where how we're talking about being burned out on things on a small level and not being passionate about it.
They probably sit in a studio booth fucking staring at a notepad for 8 hours a day.
You've been on tour for 5 years.
Skateboarding is probably like a vacation for him.
Yeah.
People think these guys, people think them guys got like the sweetest life and this and that. Remember, like they're living on a fucking plane or on a fucking bus 2/3 of the fucking year. That ain't living life, bro. Like, at the end of the day, you got fucking $500 million in your bank account, and that's absolutely amazing. But you haven't seen your fucking kids in 6 months.
Did you watch the documentary on Steve Aoki?
I didn't watch the documentary on it, but we were talking about this on the phone the other day
about how much that dude tours. Like I think it was like Out of 365 days a year, I think he had 20 days off, and was like they were saying it was so wild, where like he was literally sleeping in the aisles of the plane.
But that's what I'm saying. Like people are like, "Oh my God, he's so successful! I can't believe he fucking ate a shotgun." What do you mean? Yeah, these guys like don't have a moment to themselves. Their life is yours. Their life is yours at all times. You know what I'm saying? Like that's how they get paid, so they have to do that. You know what I mean?
They can't wake up, go to the store.
No, they can't do none of that shit. The moment you cross a certain threshold and you're a certain amount of popular / famous, you gotta send someone to do fucking everything. That's not fun.
Yeah.
Sometimes I enjoy going shopping for orange juice or a jacket. You know what I mean? Like, you can't even go buy a jacket from the store. You can't even walk into the fucking mall. That's annoying. That's annoying. I want a milkshake. I'm drunk at 2 a.m. I want to walk into Wawa. Imagine the scene.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're mad famous. You walk into Wawa at 2 a.m. on like a college campus.
You're on all the blogs and everything.
Yeah, you smack some fucking frat kid. Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, you're still you at the end of the day,
people
right?
fucking with you like Mike Tyson, so they're trying to get a paycheck.
Do you know that? I know the dude that got beat up by Tyson in the hotel. I know the dude. Yeah, I know the dude. He was me and Darren's old business partner.
Yeah.
At Machines of Mayhem. Yeah. Got into an altercation with Mike Tyson.
Was that Atlantic City?
Everyone said some stuff.
I think I remember hearing the story or something.
No, that was New York. That was like Times Square or some shit.
Mike Tyson put him down?
Yeah. They had a little argument. They asked for an autograph. Tyson said no. They said some slick shit, and then maybe acted as if they had a weapon on them, and then Tyson just started fucking laying people.
Well, he just fucked that.
I was like, yeah, how'd it feel to get punched by Tyson? He was like, felt like a fucking bat, B. I'm like, yeah, I bet. I'm sure it felt like a bat.
That dude on the plane recently, was it last year, got fucked up by him.
Yeah, I would never, if I saw Mike Tyson, absolutely the last thing I would want to, I would say hello.
The last thing I would want to do is try to fight.
I'd say hello.
I would say what's up.
Mr. Tyson.
I admire your
I admire your career.
The last thing I would do is try
to
fight him or act like I want to fight
him. Yeah, nah. I have his back, if anything.
Oh, who you want to fight, Mike?
I'll fight with baby. I got your back. Nah, I got this, Mike. I got this, Mike.
Yeah. I remember Stacy telling me that story. That's so long ago.
I'm telling you. Yeah, we had there was a couple, like, there was like a New York Times article and everything. We had him in the office, like, pinned up.
Yeah.
Sammy's face was just...
I'm sure, man. Imagine being that famous. People just fuck with you.
No.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
That's now remember, like I said, culture has shifted, so who knows if Lil Wayne is, famous, or if it's any good now in the skate culture.
Yeah.
But now it's, you fuck with a celebrity for the likes at this point.
Yeah.
With your phone out, right? You fucking go troll, and these motherfuckers are shooting up schools on camera just to, seriously, like, real fucked up shit like that. Like social media has taken over to where people are obsessed with the outcome no matter what their own life outcome is.
Yeah.
They'd rather go viral and never exist.
You ever see those videos where they fuck with people in public, like the dudes at Home Depot, and they're like fucking whispering and shit? What's funny is watching the progression of people getting fucked up doing that now.
Yeah.
Like, that shit's wild.
I seen the dude get snatched over into a escalator.
Woof, woof.
I was like, damn.
Touched his girlfriend's face or something.
Yeah,
Dude grabbed him. I mean, you're lucky. You're lucky he wasn't like a follow-up kind of guy.
Or that one dude, I think he stopped doing it, or he's kind of changing the format, because it was going to lead to his death, where he would go up to like people who look like gangbangers, and he'd be like, he's like, you want he's like, well, you want a 2-piece? And then he would like pull out chicken and be like, but it was like, but I'm watching this being like, dude, this dude, the one dude takes his shirt off. He's like, I'm in a set, bro. He's like, let's go. And he's like, I'm like, dude, I mean, you got to have balls to do that, but at the same time, it's like, you're risking your life. Those two dudes who are recording across the street ain't doing shit if anything like that goes down.
There's an expiration date on shit like that.
He's like, the last time I think I saw some of his videos, because I'll just go down a rabbit hole waiting, because he does get popped a couple times where people fuck him up, and then they got to stop the whole thing. But like, people's emotions are like all the way up here, and you can tell like they're mad that they even put you in that mental place to like, dude, I was walking down the street. You just triggered me to fist fight you because you wanted likes.
And then you walk into Walmart at 6 p.m. and find the guy in the aisle and put a bucket on his head and wonder why he wants to turn around and rip your fucking,
throat
out of your neck.
I don't fuck with. I don't want.
He just worked. He just worked.
Yeah.
He just worked 6 to fucking 5.
Yeah,
he just did an 11-hour shift. He's trying to like pick up something for his wife that hates him and is yelling at him right now. You know,
the one dude fucking got bear hugged, and the fucking dude's like, he was a big dude, and he was just on top of him. He didn't hit him or anything, but he was just like, like he just bear hugged him and threw him to the ground and was like, "This is what you get, motherfucker."
Yeah, I'm waiting for one of those to go viral for the wrong reason. It's gonna happen sooner than later. The way these people treat these fucking these Instagram, TikTok, all these platforms, stupid.
Oh, it's just wild.
Shit crazy.
I'm too old for that shit.
No good.
I definitely would have done all that dumb
nobody
shit.
fucking with me.
Listen, we got to circle back though. Hold on, real quick. We never touched on what is.
Do you guys want another beer?
I do.
Yes.
What is the fashion director of the United States?
Oh, in the United States,
What city?
it had to be between New York and L.A.
Yeah, I know that.
I would vote for New York just
It's
because
gotta be.
I feel like the doper,
It has to be.
the ill shit that comes from New York.
Yeah, of course.
But I feel like in LA, they in the last couple of years, LA been strong.
LA's been pretty strong. LA's been pretty strong, and I feel like there's a lot of really big stylists out there too.
A lot of stylists, a lot of brands, a lot of companies coming from LA, and a lot of brands got to go there to succeed. I think it's ill. New York though is always, to me, is a staple of my style.
Our style, for sure,
I think, in New York, I think is the most.
Yeah, I just think the East
Coast,
especially the Northeast, just moves, and that's not a shot at anywhere else in the United States. I just feel like it moves at a little bit of a different pace. You know what I mean? I just feel like the whole corridor, the whole Northeast.
Yeah, I always love New York
fast.
fashion. I always that's where I fell in love with what I do. I always love New York fashion. I always love going to New York and seeing how everyone's dressing. It's such a big mixture of different styles. Like
and you have the opportunity to grow up between there and here.
Yeah,
too.
I grew up in between New York and here, and I just always loved New York for that. You know what I'm saying? I'm a student to the game, so I'm always looking.
Do you think your cousin had a big influence on all of this? I don't know if that's ever been asked to you before.
Hell yeah, my cousin is the first person to take me to any trade show. He showed me any brand. Like, he pretty much gave me the influence of why I wanted to do this shit. You know what I mean? I started there before I had a dream of anything. I was just a student to the game, but I just like to get fly. You know, I always love clothes. Like, I would go to the store and just look at clothes and see what's hot and different stores. You know what I'm saying? Like, any store. Like, I would just go to the stores and look at clothes. I love clothes. I love getting dressed. When I started going to my cousin's store is when I started, thinking, I want my own store, too. You know what I'm saying?
Well, then that segues into this question. Now, I remember how it all started, but I've never asked you this, and I don't know if you've ever been asked this either. Why?
Well, I kind of was going through a time, and I never been asked why. You know what I'm saying? But how I look back at it, I was going through a time where I wanted to do something different, and I wanted to try to.
Because we were all messy as fuck at that time.
Yeah, I was messy as fuck, you know, and I lost Joe Lou. It was my brother. I lost Joe Lou, and
rest in peace, Joe Lou.
And
Izzo.
I just didn't know where my life was going. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know what I was gonna do with my life, and I didn't want to keep doing the same thing I was doing. You know, and I went on a trip to Puerto Rico with my mom. And when I was in Puerto Rico, I told him, I was like, yo, I'm going to go get a job. Like, I'm going to do something right. You know what I'm saying? I went, and as soon as I came, I got a job at Metro PCS.
Okay. With the one down there across from Drinkies?
Yeah, I was there, and I was also in 25th Street. But I started working there, and I mean, it wasn't bad. And it was probably the easiest job I ever had, so that's why I stayed there for a little while, you know? But as I was there, I was thinking about my brand, you know what I'm saying? And I was thinking about, having a brand and doing things, and that's when I started designing. It was supposed to be Izzo. Before it was ABE or anything like that, it was supposed to be Izzo. I came up with a design for Izzo, and I was gonna start doing it, and then it was just always in my mind. And then when I got together with my people that I started with, that's where it came from. But it really was just something I wanted to do. I wanted to do something different, you know. I didn't want to go down the wrong path. That's how I think, you know what I mean? I knew that was in my mind. Like, I wanted to do something with my life, you know.
And then when did you know? When did you know that after the first drop sold out in 55 fucking minutes? Was that when you knew that you were gonna keep doing this, or was it like, all right, let's try this out?
No, I was hyped. You know, I was real hyped when that shit happened. When I first started it.
Because how many did we grab at first?
I think it was
50?
like 50.
And then the next run was like 250, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
Because I was hyped. I was super hyped, and I was like, yo, I'm gonna sell. You know, I got like, I don't know. I got like emotion. Like my emotions went crazy when that happened, and I knew I wanted to do it, you know. I knew this shit made me happy, bro.
Yeah.
That shit made me real happy. Like, that feeling, I knew it was no better feeling than that feeling. That first feeling of when that shit happened and when I first started and that shit sold out so fast, like, that was the best. I don't know if I had that was a good ass feeling.
The first time was a good feeling.
The first time, you know?
But the second time, I think the second time was more fire because then it was, the first time it was just black and red and black and white.
No, it was
no, black
and red and black and white.
Yeah. And then the second time it was
black and yellow,
black and
pink,
gray and black, and I'm almost positive it was 250 units, and them shits was gone in, I believe it was almost just like the same exact time. It was almost the same exact time.
I think the second time was a little bit different because I know that I got too many. You know, I don't think that I sold them all out, but I definitely like sold a lot to the point where I thought I was gonna keep like. I thought this shit was gonna. Well, I thought I was gonna be rich, bro. When I first started this shit, I thought I was like, "That's it." You know, people, and you know what's funny too? People that I asked before to help me with it was like, "Yo, let me get down." You know, as soon as that shit started going on, there was just like, "Yo," people that shitted on me. You know what I'm saying? Was like, "Yo, let me get down with that. Let me do it too." You know, and at that moment, it was a time when I was just like, "Nah." This is what I'm gonna do, you know, and this is what's gonna.
Now, I like how you said I thought I was gonna be rich.
I did.
Right, but I want to ask you: Do you think? So what is rich? The rich you were looking for then? Is that the same rich you're looking for now? Nah, right.
Way different, bro.
Right.
Now
you wanted a pocket full of money back then.
Yeah.
Right.
Now I really want to just be happy, bro.
Right.
I want to be rich of happiness.
Time and happiness.
You know, money helps. Money gonna help with that.
Well, money is the tool that helps us achieve the freedom with time and the freedom to pursue happiness. Mm-hmm. Right.
But I'm also enjoying, like, now. Looking back, I'm appreciating the journey and appreciating the bad and appreciating the good.
Moment by moment.
All that shit is all worth it. You know, it's all a part of what makes me happy, you know?
Your growth over the last decade is pretty fucking amazing. Sound like you're
like you're a
little bit older than you actually are.
I'm an old man, bro. I'm an old soul. You know?
Sound a little bit older than you actually are.
I was hanging out with y'all when I was like 12 and 13. You know
you were young as fuck.
Y'all was older. Y'all was already going to the club, and I was like 12 and 13, and so I feel a lot older than I really am because of my influences and people who have been around me. I did a lot of shit that people older than me ain't never even done.
You attached yourself to some really good people all across the board, whether it was in the streets, in a certain industry, in any type of business, family members. You did a really good job, man. You built a really good group and a really good group of mentors. Honestly, it's
I got a great group of mentors and a real good group of supporters too. You know?
No, you do. Your supporters are
like my people show out for me every time. Anytime I least doubt myself is when that support system comes in. It's like,
well, and it's not like, you're for the people.
I am.
You are for the people. You've proven it time and time again. 150%. So
for the people,
they're always going to be for
and
you.
I'm not just saying that. You know what I mean? Like I'm really for the people, and I think about things that I could do to give back to that community.
And we
that
will.
gave me so much.
We will.
You know?
We all will. We all will. We just need a little bit more time. As soon as we all get on our feet, where we got that super solid foundation, then we can start helping everyone else, and we will. We're gonna make waves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm definitely got a lot more of that in my mind and things that I could do to help the community that helped me so much.
Focusing on selflessness, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm focusing on selflessness and happiness, and I'm still working hard, bro. I'm hungry, bro. I'm more hungry now. After all them 10 years, I'm hungry now. Now I'm hungry.
Right.
Now I want to fuck shit up, you know?
Listen, but now you've afforded yourself
But now I know I can fuck it up. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
now,
that's a different feeling.
Yeah,
Right,
now I know I'm about to fuck it up.
Right.
It's not like, I wanna do this. Nah. I'm going to do this shit now. Like
You've
now,
afforded yourself the years of study and grind, and now the confidence took over, and now it's just a whole new fucking animal.
Yeah, it's fucked up.
Because I feel like we're all on that same season. We're all on that same phase of life where we doubted ourselves for so fucking long.
I did.
And finally, it took me to fucking 39 years old to stop doubting myself. You know what I mean?
That's mad old.
That's mad old. Fuck you, pussy.
But yeah, man, I feel good, bro. I feel like I know I know I got the potential. I know what I could do. You know what I'm saying? I know what I didn't do.
Ground up.
And I know what I'm gonna do. And I'm hungry, bro. I want this shit bad, bro.
Yep.
I want to prove it to myself that
The only
I
thing
can
that can
do
stop
a
you
lot of
is you.
things. You know what I'm saying?
Especially
I've
at this
stopped
point.
myself a lot.
You have.
I've stopped myself from accomplishing a lot
You
just
have.
from fear and emotions. You know what I'm saying? I know what I could do. I know that I could turn the fuck up. You know
Separating that logic from the emotion and the scared aspect of just learning another lesson is what's going to
not scared no more. I'd rather show, you know what I'm saying, what things how things are gonna turn, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, like he said earlier, I'd rather just fail and know that I did it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I'd rather just do it. Either I'm
not
going to
scared
win.
to fail, you know what I'm saying? Like it's a difference between when you scared to fail. It's like what if this happened? What if that? No, it's not even gonna happen, bro.
Yeah.
What's gonna happen is we're gonna execute and get this done, you know? And that's how I feel. I don't feel I have 0% of doubt of what I know I could do.
I feel like before it would always take me like a whole year of trying to like dabble in something. So if I pick a new lane and the whole time I'm like, I don't know about this, and you waste so much time doubting to almost float through the year, and then at the end of the year you kind of make a decision like, yeah, I think I'm ready to do that. Where now it's like I see my thinking just rapidly going like, where I'm like, fuck it, I'm gonna open a restaurant, and then immediately I'm like, I don't know if you should be doing this. This is expensive. This is gonna be a lot. And then I'm like, then like instead of taking an entire year to like really comb through whether or not I want to do it, I immediately stopped that thinking within the first like month and a half, and I'm like, no, dude, why don't you open a restaurant? Why don't you set a bar? Why don't you do something in Nazareth? Because everybody told you shouldn't do that shit in Nazareth. And I'm like, well, why shouldn't I? Everybody here's bought all my fucking clothes and completely helped this business grow. Why wouldn't I put a bomb ass restaurant that's for them? It's not for anyone else. It's for them. And so my friends whose kids buy my shit, and all my friends who say there's nowhere to get a cup of coffee, there's nowhere to get fucking food, they can now get up, walk to that store, and fucking get a bagel 3 minutes after it's been fucking made. The day, like homemade shit that like most people aren't even doing in the Valley. Why wouldn't I give that back to the people that built my fucking business? And when I started thinking that way, I started getting more confidence. And I'm like, man, I'm going to do some shit that nobody's doing around here. Then I can jump in the food. Then I'm building a TV studio to do food shows. And I'm like, now it's like, that would have taken me 3 years to like get that whole idea mapped out. Now I'm just like, no, bring this on, bring that on.
Yeah.
And then I'm in the deep end of the pool, but then you start realizing you know how to fucking swim. And then I'm like, oh, I've been here before. This is how it was when
you
I
can
started
get that shit
everything.
done.
You
You got the confidence of.
And that's the
knowing
key
that
word there,
can-
confidence.
You have a resume behind you.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, when you go to open your second shop, it's like you already had a brand. You switched your brand around. You're doing different things with your brand. You've done hats a million times. Why wouldn't you be able to do that?
Mm-hmm.
I find that when most people struggle with follow through, it's because at the time they're struggling with their own self-confidence.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? And that's I always realize that if I'm not consciously aware that I'm struggling with self-confidence, that if I find myself struggling with follow-through, I'll reflect real quick and be like, yo, what the fuck is something wrong? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have that quick conversation in the mirror and just, because if we don't check us 9 times out of 10, the positions we're in our lives, who the fuck is checking you?
Yeah, man. Everybody has their days of they feel discouraged or they feel whatever. It's all about how you gonna snap out.
I
of
still
that,
struggle with depression, anxiety.
Yeah, me too.
I'm sure we all do.
My day was
I know
off
I
all
do.
day today.
Yeah.
I did a pod super early in the morning. And then I was like, I was excited for this because I knew being around people like this, I can snap myself out of it. That's why I like meeting up for
love it.
salads and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And, so it's like, it was kind of my first day back from everything. And I'm, it's still not enough progress for me on the new venture. And I want to be there now. And I know I got to wait. And then I'm like, trying to get through some things, and then I'm like, all right, I'll go
and then
for
it's
a hike.
fucking gloom and doom outside for fucking 2 weeks in a row, so that don't help nobody.
Hiking today didn't help. It helped
I
in a
was,
sense,
I was
but
born in the darkness.
very Batman of you.
very, very Bane-like of you.
So it's like, and then it's like, even from just sitting here, it's like I get inspired, listening to you talk about going back to school. I'm like, man, maybe you need to flip some shit up and like go learn more to make yourself more successful instead of trying to do, because sometimes I get caught up in constantly doing new creative, and I'm sure you're the same way. Creative. And sometimes that gets you nowhere, and it's like, well, all right, well, maybe you should stop, maybe go learn to be.
That's him.
Bro,
That's him.
Last night I woke up to my computer. I'm about to go to sleep. I'm like, yo, I gotta go sleep a little early because I'm going to the gym. Blah, blah, blah. I walk to my computer and I'm like, yo, I'm about to design some fire right now. You know what I designed last night?
Nothing.
A Mets design.
Something that's like been done
Just
already.
like shit that I like. I'm just like, you know what I mean? Like, I did that and it just made me laugh. I'm just like, wow, like, this is what you're doing with your time. You gotta do shit that makes you happy, bro.
Yeah.
And it's not always gonna be your day,
No, that's learned in those 10 years. Because today wasn't my day, and I even remember at a point where I was like, all right, man, you did enough. Like how you said you got to do a little bit of everything. So it's like, all right, I hammered my emails out. I did stupid stuff I didn't want to do. I got an edit done. And then I was like, all right, that's a normal day. You're a lunatic, and you're normally doing tenfold that, which is not healthy at all to do. So
I've been doing that a lot lately, too.
Yeah.
Like,
it's okay to have a normal person day.
I'm notorious for being in my store at 5 a.m. embroidering jobs and making shit. Like, a lot of people, anybody that's around my area, like around the store, they know that I'll be there like late, and I'm always there like 2, 3, 4, 5 in the morning. You know what I mean?
This motherfucker will go to sleep at his shop.
Yeah.
I've slept there multiple
Wake
times.
up at his shop.
And keep working.
Yeah.
But in these last couple,
Most successful brand out of the Lehigh Valley. I don't think there'll ever be another.
In these last couple weeks, like I've been feeling myself like, nah, I'm not staying here late. Like, I'm gonna go home and go to sleep. You know what I'm saying? Like,
it's weird when you just start getting back to normal.
Nah, I'm not about to do this. Like, I'm not about to burn myself.
It's okay to fucking take your foot off the gas.
It gets to a certain point where you ain't gonna be able to sleep in that motherfucker no more. You know what I'm saying? My back ain't built like that. His back ain't built like that.
I'm starting to be like that. So I feel like I can't.
It's smart.
Do this shit.
It's growth. It's growth with age. It's growth with and that's what I keep stressing to my partners with the stuff up there. I'm like, look, I said, if we sell out, I said, we are not doubling the amount of bagels we're doing. Let's just do 50 more.
Keep selling out.
And I said, let's keep selling out until it's to, because what are you going to have to do? You're going to have to hire 10 people? I don't want 10 employees. I mean, like I said, I want a team like you do where you can teach somebody, you can walk away from it, and everybody's making the most amount of money they can there, and I don't got to spread the money too thin because I got 15 people who don't give a fuck. It's like,
Bro, I would
I'd
love
rather
to have a whole team running my store right now where I don't. I could wake up and go on my computer. My computer is like right here. My bed's right here. My computer right there. I would love to just go to my computer. But it's not that time yet.
Yeah.
I know that I got to put in a little bit more work.
But it's good that you're not impatient with it and forcing it. And you've never really been impatient with it, and you've never really forced it. And I feel like that has added to your longevity. But in time, you're going to find, and you're in a good place for it now too. School has got to be one of the best places to find the next guy that's
mission,
ready to help you.
That's why I'm going to school. That's why I'm going to start this club, just to meet people that's really like. I need to
join the club.
You gotta go to school. Bro.
God damn it!
I've been to NAC a couple times.
What if we just show up?
I enrolled in
you guys can
classes
come in
at
and be
NAC.
speakers at my club.
That'll work.
But
we
like
can do a podcast at the club.
That'd be sick.
Or just bring the club here and not move any
we'll bring the club here and be a field trip.
Yeah.
But like, that's why I want to do that, because I want to get around like-minded people. As I get older, all my friends are doing certain things, doing different things where I can't really be like, yo, bro.
We're all doing
Come
very
to the
well.
store. Everyone's doing well. Everyone got their shit going on.
Right.
And I need to tap into like the younger generation.
I'd like to tap
No, we
into
are
that.
getting old. We are getting old, and we are definitely not in tune. We don't know the
not as old as
motherfucking
you,
lingo
though.
no more. This motherfucker had to do it again. He had to fucking do it like twice in one podcast.
Still a young
ridiculous.
guy.
Jesus Christ, bro. How old are you now?
30-something.
Yeah, it's like a dick.
I would like to tap into the resources at NAC. I would like to sit down with somebody, especially in the new venture, and be
go back
like,
to school.
and be like, look, man, like you could start sending kids here.
Bro, there's mad people over there, bro. That's
They
why I
would
told
learn more doing one episode of
the
a
kid from,
podcast than sitting in a fucking classroom, in my opinion.
It depends on what we sit here and talk
from
about. But I
Sneaker
agree.
Box goes to school too, and I see him at school.
Right.
And I seen him like we were walking in school, and I told him like, bro, look at all these cars, bro. Look at all these cars, look at all these people, bro. Like we need to tap in to all this.
That's a big network,
You know what I'm saying?
and you're already you're already in the network. You're already established, period, with your business, but you're already planted into the network by default because you pay fucking tuition. So you're there
Exactly.
every day with these people.
But there's opportunities, and there's people from all around the world. You know what I'm saying? Like,
There's
a
NACAC is one of the most common fucking.
There's an Atlanta Nano in NAC somewhere. I just gotta
100%.
find them. You know what I'm
There's
saying?
a
And that's how I feel.
Ghanaian Nano. I'm telling
I'm
you.
dead ass, bro.
Yes.
I know that they're in there, and that's why. That's the reason why I went there. Now I'm feeling a lot more creative, and I love what I'm doing, and I want to continue for that. You know what I'm saying? I want to pursue my art shit. You know,
I've been with you for this whole ride, and you look happier now than probably since like year one. Legit,
happy, bro.
You look happier now.
I'm trying
than
to be
probably since
happy.
year
You know,
one.
I'm focused on my happiness now. I'm not focused on. There's
You
no
seem like you're focused.
destination.
You seem like you're focused on your business too, though. Like you're
I am.
focused on what you need to do for yourself to make sure that your business
And I'm not perfect.
strives and thrives.
I'm not perfect, but every day I realize things that I could be doing better and how I could work on that. You know what I'm saying?
That's all part of growth, baby.
That's how I feel.
Yeah.
But I feel good. I'm happy. I'm happy that I'm doing what I love still. You know, and I'm appreciating it more. I appreciate everything so much more now. I don't know what got into me, bro. I'm really appreciating.
getting old.
Yeah, I'm getting old, and I'm just like.
Well, you're getting old, and you
damn.
realize you don't work a 9 to 5.
Yeah, and I'm just like, damn, like
You work your shit.
Mm-hmm.
Right? That's
everything.
huge.
It's easy to get caught up in, and I'm sure you do it
It's
as well.
hard, bro.
It's easy to get caught up in like you turning your freedom into like, man, my fuck, like me bitching about having a bad day when I woke up, did a podcast, worked out, then worked on whatever I wanted to, went on a hike, came back here, ate dinner, took a nap, and now I'm hanging with you guys. That's not a real job.
Yeah.
That's not.
But
I had complete control, but when you do that too long, you start turning into how it is when you work in a factory where you're just like, fuck this, fuck these people. You just start bitching and complaining.
I seen a post this morning where somebody on Facebook wrote, I haven't been doing shit all day because my pallet jack is not working and they're working on it. So I'm not doing shit all day and I'm getting paid for it. I just thought to myself, like, wish I could get paid for not doing shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, for me to get paid, I gotta do triple or quadruple what I think I should do.
And sometimes it gets exhausting chasing money.
Yeah, so like I look at people with jobs as like, I look at people with like warehouse jobs and stuff like that. Like I respect it, honestly. Like you have to.
That's all I ever did.
We need those people to keep our world rotating.
They're the wheels.
You know what I'm saying? They are the wheels. This is the workforce. Those are the ones. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I look at them like. Sometimes I look at it like they got it easy. You know what I'm saying? Like they got it made. They could just go clock
9
out,
to 5,
go clock out, and go home and focus on what makes them happy. You know what I'm saying?
But that's. Because they see me come in at 8, 9, 10, leave when I need to go pick the kids up from school, do it, and they think that's easy, but
they don't go through all the
I think about Banco Beverage Company, like, 24 hours a fucking day.
Yeah. I have had these arguments with people. I've had arguments with people about who works harder. Like, oh, you own your own business.
We all do. We all do.
Oh, you don't understand the stress of going to work for a whole week and not getting nothing. Not making enough to pay what you gotta pay.
The rent at the store.
Doing that week after week after week after week. You don't know that pain, bro. I would tell people like you don't understand that pain.
I've seen it in your eyes.
When you look at your shit and you're just like, what the fuck? I thought
that was just enough to cover the lights and the fucking.
All right, boom. Let's start back over. Boom. Like people don't know that feeling, and I've gotten to that argument with like my friends and stuff. Like I work harder than you. I'm throwing boxes all night, blah blah blah. I'm like, yeah, but you clock out, bro.
Yeah,
I don't clock out.
There is
bro. I don't.
There is no time clock.
Or I didn't. You know what I'm saying? I didn't. Like my mind was never set to clock out. Like it was never like, all right.
And it's exhausting too because it's like regardless of what they're doing, they're getting paid at the end of the week.
Yeah,
like
and you always get that check.
Like one of my goals for this new year is to make a specific amount of money off of apparel. Apparel drops a month, and I'm like, all right, well, like that's an income that can come in, but that's very exhausting. And when you hit on that and it sells well, like the only reason I'm talking about doing this is because my last drop did very well.
Yeah.
So like, but now I'm in this long enough where I was like, yo, you can't think that that's what the next drop's gonna be.
Every drop gonna be like
no.
That.
So then I'm just like, well, fuck. I'm like, all right, well, this is still a goal, and we can realistically do this. We got to be better with marketing. Now it's not just relying on everything to sell. Yeah. It's like, all right, well, we got to make reels and do all this stuff. But like, I'm chasing that. Yeah.
If you build a plan that you're gonna do these certain things. No, let him get my. I like when he gets my beer. When you have a plan, a plan to execute, it's so much easier, and you can definitely do that. I mean, like, I believe that you can put together your drops for the year,
absolutely,
and hit your goals. You know what I'm saying?
But it's the point was basically like. When we want to do that, there's so much work into getting that ready for the year, and we're not getting paid yet.
No.
Or there is a gamble that you don't make any money. Or let's say you make a shitload of money off one drop, then the second one's dead, and then the third one does all right. That money that did awesome just balances out the loss in the other one.
There's always a problem when you got a business. When you run any kind of business, there's always the problem.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like people don't calculate that in. All right, I made whatever from this drop, but the light was about to get cut. You know what I mean? Like all of that stuff is in it when you run a business. So I feel like you have to work 24/7. You have to be home thinking.
And
about
when your hands are on the wheel,
you know?
You have to count for the problems and being constantly proactive at all times.
Yeah,
and you can't tell yourself.
So you have
negatives.
to fix. You have to fix the fuck ups while remaining positive.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah, because you can't let the
Because you have to remain proactive. Because there's still things that have to be done.
Yeah.
And there's growth that needs to occur, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, man. Yeah.
nobody, I'm telling you, everyone swears to God that because I pull up in the Escalade and park, that shit's fucking sweet. Now, that's why I like having these conversations with you guys, because my business is 90 years in. That's a whole different fucking animal than guys that are 10 years in.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, well-oiled machine already. The shit's on. It's basically, you know, if we wanted to let it cruise, we for all intents and purposes, because of the way accounts and everything are set up, we could potentially let it cruise. But I mean, anyone that is at the executive level of a business, if that's how you think, you should be fired fucking immediately. There's no reason you should ever, you know.
not letting shit cruise, bro.
Yeah, you can't.
You got rebranding and all kinds
Oh
of
my
other
God!
shit.
Growth at any, and then you have to look for new ways of growth potentially.
Yeah.
Like discover things outside that no one's ever thought of. You know what I mean? And try to be the pioneer of something new that other people will latch onto and go viral, or you know what I mean? It's a constant process of trying to be the first guy to do something, or the first guy in your market, or I mean, I have conversations with the guys in my warehouse every single day. Every fucking day that I'm at that place. And I can see the disdain in some of their eyes, and I can see how they believe that I'm not paying attention because certain things didn't get fixed. But it's like, brother, you don't understand how many other things I have to fix to even address that situation. I can't even address that situation before I do like 10 other things over here. And then I can finally touch that, because all of these affect this. And that's just, it's a when you're up and you're an umbrella looking at all of it, it's a whole lot different than when you're standing on a balcony. You know what I'm saying? Like near the bottom. You know, and it's easy when you're on that balcony to tell the guy at the top, this is what you should do, this is what you should do, this is what you should do. But it's also easy to not take into account the things that they have to account for on a daily basis, which is literally, in my case, the 100 and some miles underneath them. Or if you care, you know what I mean? I'm sure, like, I don't give a fuck who I offend. I'm sure, like, the Walton family, the owner of fucking Walmart, he doesn't give a fuck. You know what I mean? I'm not at that scope. I'm at the scope where I know every fucking person that works at Banco Beverage Company. I know their wife. I know their fucking kids. I know some of their dogs. You know what I mean? Like, I don't have the luxury to not care about.
Yeah, to not give a fuck. 'Cause
Right.
there's just more zeros coming into your bank account.
Yeah,
mean,
that
you can't
doesn't.
let that-
I'd rather
you
have
can't
the
let that
people than
affect
the
the
zeros.
people.
Yeah.
You know
That's
what
what
I'm
I'm
saying? You
saying.
can't let the
Every
people see
move,
that.
but no.
You can't let the people see you.
No,
Going through.
never. That's why there's always,
That's
you'll
me
never.
too, you know what I'm saying?
And
Like-
that's why, like you said, oh, well, I fucking hiked and I did this and I did that, so it's tough to. I say a lot. People will be like, how's your day? I can't complain.
Yeah.
I fucking can. I fucking can.
Oh, I can
my
complain
neck hurts,
yeah.
my back hurts, my puppy shit in his cage and I had to give him a bath for the third time today. This, that, but I'm just not gonna fucking complain.
Yeah.
I'm not going to complain because that does no good for you, no good
Gotta
for
be
me.
thankful, bro.
I'm thankful
I
for
don't know,
the
like,
goods, the
there
bads,
we
the
go.
wins, the lessons, the ebbs, the flows. You need the darkness to appreciate the sunlight, right? Shit's cliche, but
But it's like as you get older, you really do appreciate the darkness. Like you appreciate those times of the wrong. You know?
we all should.
And my pops always told me to thank God for the good and for the bad.
We all
you know what
should.
I'm saying? Because it's like you need all that shit. You know what I'm saying? I seen an interview with Jay-Z where he said things don't happen to you, they happen for you.
Right.
You know, and like everything is part of the process.
Well, that's the winner's mindset because there is no fucking losses. There is no losses. There's wins and there's fucking lessons. And if you look at it any other way, you're gonna work a 9 to 5 your whole entire life.
Yeah.
You're gonna work
And complain about it.
and complain about it. Yeah.
yeah.
And then I'll stop hanging out with you.
I would say
Yeah, and then we
I would
can't
say
hang out
that's
no
it.
more.
Like, I'm definitely cool with like I respect the 9 to 5
Yes.
workforce, right? But
how I
if you
grew up.
complain about it like that, you complaining, and I gotta hear it every day.
It's a part of the
quit,
reason
bro.
I left was
I'm
those-
the worst
yeah.
friend, bro, because I'm gonna
Yeah.
tell you quit. I'm gonna
Then
be like, quit.
do something.
Yeah.
I'm gonna say quit.
I
That's
get
the first thing I'm gonna
aggravated.
say.
I get aggravated fast when people come to me
I
fucking
can't.
with problems
Like, yo.
and shit, and I'm like, bro. I'm like, you're talking to the wrong motherfucker about not figuring
Yeah.
shit out. I'll get on a 20-minute phone call
I
and be
say
like,
that
you could
all
do
the
this,
time.
this, this,
Yeah.
this. I'm the wrong person to
Yeah.
be calling. If you
Yeah.
are just calling me to bitch and not actually problem solve, why are you on the phone with
That's
me?
why I'm somewhat bad at communication in relationships, because I am just now within the last like year and a half learning how to communicate and just listen.
Yeah.
Because
I should work on that in therapy.
I like to fucking problem solve.
Yeah.
So the moment you call me with a problem, I'm like, all right, so what the fuck we got to do here?
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not
Nah, it's
listening.
true.
I'm not
It's not a
listening.
lie, bro.
I'm problem solving for
It's not
both
lie. I
of
can tell you
us.
that from experience. Tony and his mom will cuss me the fuck out. Anytime I say like, I'll be like, damn, but shut the fuck up, yo. Also his mom. And she would tell you like,
My dudes
what are
would say
you
the
talking
same
about?
shit,
She'd be like, I love Tony's mom so much. She done picked me up from the ground when I was complaining and crying and all that. She would say, "You're fucking nano." Like, the people want. She'd tell me that. You know, this is recently. I had a long talk with his mom, and she pretty much broke it down to me like, you need to be yourself. Like,
That's who we want. That's who everyone wants.
She told me, like, you know, she wants, and the people want you, and you need to be yourself, and you need to stop whatever this is. Stop it.
That's
And-
self-doubt.
and be you, because we all love you. You know
Grab
what I'm
your
saying?
fucking balls.
And that was really a good, like, a turning point.
Fantastic
for me, you know?
advice. A lot of times, this year I'm trying to make it more to myself, telling myself to stop hiding behind my work. And it's, because when you get to a point where like you're building a brand,
What do you
and
mean by
everything, like constantly never stepping out and being like Mike from Never Again, and always being Mike in a project, Mike in a new project. Like constantly being too busy to, not take the time to talk to somebody.
Intentional time.
Yeah. So like I'm like me doing that shit with what's it called? Lehigh Valley Style. Like when they reached out, like that was huge for me to step out and then like tell them my story and then be like, nah, this is what I did. And then that, the lady was like, what the fuck? And then, everybody always enjoys the story when I tell it to them. But it's like, for a while, I started realizing that like a lot of it was like you're afraid to be confident. You're afraid to be a apparel guy. I'm afraid to be a podcast person. It's all things that I'm afraid to do, but I'm just trying to get to a point where that is me. But I've worked on it for so long, I can't hide behind it anymore. I can't tell somebody, true. Oh, well, I'm just doing a project. I started another podcast, and it's like, no, you've been podcasting for 7 years in the Lehigh Valley before people even knew what the fuck podcasts were.
You ever see that Spider-Man meme?
You have to be the podcast guy.
Ever see the Spider-Man meme where they're all fucking
Nah, it's
pointing
true.
at
Like,
each other?
you gotta be behind that. You gotta step.
There's people that don't even know that I'm doing apparel.
Confidence,
I started it with apparel.
is a motherfucker.
I'm like,
confidence is a motherfucker.
I'm like, why aren't you doing apparel drops? You're in love with making apparel, and you figured it out to a point where you don't have to buy inventory anymore, and you're doing drop shipping, and
and your shit's good.
It's completely figured out. Why are you afraid to be him? And then this year is a lot of like I can't do that going up into that next. You can't do that with food. I'm like, I can't make myself too busy. Like I got to be like, nah, man, eat this fucking bagel, eat this fucking burger. I'll be doing shit up there that people are only seeing out in LA, fucking Roy Choi stuff. Like I want my neon light coming on, and when that light's on, you know that there's burgers there, and you can only find me through social media. I'll be doing fucking ghost kitchens. I can't pretend to do that anymore. It's too far down the road.
You gotta step in front of it, and you gotta own it. You know
I think
it was the whole reason we started it. Like, you know what I mean? Like you wanted to be an apparel guy, and it's like you can't just keep making apparel and changing everything and being like, well, this is a new version of it. Now it's like eventually you have to be like, nah, this is fucking me.
And this is me. Yeah.
I think the growth of our area too helps us, because the more we get our market to latch on to what we're doing and the direction that we're headed in, that also boosts our confidence.
Yeah.
Because it's not like now all of the stuff we're saying you know, we leave here and our confidence is at 100% all the time. I know I'm drained a lot. You know what I mean? I know that I'm sure you're drained a lot, and I'm sure you're fucking drained a lot too. You know, but the more eyes we get on our stuff and the more support we get and the more we help people and we see that return, whether it's through their mouths or, you know, just on some type of social aspect or watching our business grow or, you know, just watching the genuine happy look on someone's face when we can deliver for them in any aspect, I think that's going to contribute to all of our confidence and growth in the future. You know what I mean? But I feel like there's so many things that we say that we all have in common. This isn't a fucking coincidence.
No.
Yeah, this isn't like some fucking coincidence. I feel like, you know, any entrepreneur or anyone trying to make it or anyone that has made it or has
been through some things. You start respecting what other people have been through.
And we always go back to the same few things. It's like confidence and time, you know what I mean? And the helping of other people. Yeah. You know what I mean? None of it goes back to anything materialistically or anything like that. You know what I mean? It always ends up being time, people, help, family. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like getting back to ourselves. Mm-hmm. I hope
when you focus too much on the money aspect of things,
you become a monster.
You turn into a monster.
I was a monster in my 20s. I was a monster.
Once you turn that off,
yeah,
and you start realizing like
people,
you know what I'm saying?
Time.
Like, and enjoying the journey, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Enjoying what the fuck you're doing.
Moment by moment.
That shit is it changes it. It changes it immediately.
It's so hard to enjoy moments.
Mm-hmm. Now I'm enjoying the moment. I'm happy. You know, I built a lot. I always look back. When I feel down, I look back. I'll be like, nigga, I did this, I did that. Before I was...
Look at these storefronts.
You know? Yeah. Bro, I paid the rent today on both of my stores, bro. I was happier than anything.
I always wait till the 10th.
But yeah, I usually wait till the 10th. You heard? I usually wait till the 10th.
Or Wiggle text me, yo.
14th.
Yeah.
Fuck you.
Around the 14th is when I get a text from Jen.
Today I paid my rent.
And I got it. You can still kiss my ass. I'm sick of paying this shit.
But I felt good about it. You know, I felt like, you know, I paid my rent. Like I paid both. Of
there
my
is something about paying that rent.
You know,
there is something about
and having money in your fucking pocket.
And having it. Even not having money in your pocket, but paying your rent is like, let's go another month. Let's get it.
I was house poor. And as you guys know, I live directly next door to my mom, and I was house poor for many, many, many years when I first moved in there. But are you really house poor?
If you have a house?
If you have a house?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, how house poor are you?
Yeah, it's around the corner.
You know, if you have a house.
We can wrap up, too, if you want. We're at an hour and 40.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wrap it up. I feel bad now.
No, you don't got to wrap it up. I was going to have to piss.
Go to the bathroom. Go to the bathroom. Hour 40.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah. No, it was fun. This is going to be fun to do.
This is going to be a good one. Are you going to chop it up a little bit?
What do you mean? I'm just going to let it rip the way it was. But I'm just saying this podcast in general. I knew because we've had meetings about it. And before we started, there wasn't any doubt. But I was like, this is going to be a learning curve. And it always is when you have multiple people in a room. But I knew from our podcast that it would just happen.
Yeah.
And then because we knew him, but even halfway through, I was like, oh, you could throw him on any episode. Yeah. Like almost as like a regular.
As a co-host and stuff like that. For sure. Which is something we should probably explore too.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's going to be way easier to get us three in here and then have another one. Because balloons would have been great for the apparel stuff. Poe's great for the business stuff. And then we just got to start combing through.
We will.
And finding. But it's easier. It's going to be way easier to put one person in. Well, I mean, we'll see how it falls, but I'm happy with how everything went. It was refreshing to me because I'm tired of interviewing people, man.
Right.
That's all I fucking do. And I'm good at it because I do it a lot, but it's like, you know, it's...
Well, I'm sure it was nice for you to get like a small break in between and let me just go at them.
This is how the show started. This is the origins of what I did, is just sitting around chopping it up.
I remember I watched a couple episodes.
I said to my friend today, I'm like, man, like, you know, my biggest excitement about moving into the next space is like having more income.
I can't wait.
Like I can have more income so I don't have to chase money from sponsors. And when I don't have to chase money from sponsors, then I'm just creating shit I want to create. And then it's like, all right, well then I'll just fuck with a couple of people and then just bring in different sponsors for different things. But it's like I don't want to have to chase my rent.
Got to do pop-ups.
Yeah. Well, pop-ups I'm getting back into. Sunday is we're doing the burgers again, but I want to get to
what
a
I'm
point
saying,
is,
maybe do a ABE pop-up
Yeah.
at the, you know what I mean?
I think we should definitely collab on stuff like that.
150%.
I'm down.
Yeah.
Yeah, we should do some designs.
It's stupid
and-
not to do it. Get a fucking DJ, do a collab drop, do
Yeah.
fucking food with it, fucking
Absolutely.
beer.
100%.
We could do it in town. We could do it in Easton.
Yeah.
We'd be too stupid not to do it.
I agree.
I'm
100%.
down.
And there's not enough people, in my opinion. I mean, we should also, and we could talk about it off, but like, I would love to like put on a fucking convention because you need a giant team to do that. But like, I've always said no one's really put on an apparel. Like, I've always been a part of like, I'm at a tattoo convention hoping somebody's got an extra $20. Like, I want to do like a fashion apparel convention and like
I've
do
seen
it.
some of the biggest,
Yeah.
some of the biggest conventions and trade shows happen, and I've also seen their teams, and it's not what you would think. You know, I've seen like crazy fucking shows, bro, ran by like 6 people.
Yeah.
Jesus.
But I'm saying
know?
is I would love to give something like that to the Valley.
Yeah,
I mean,
that'd be
we're an
dope.
hour from New York. You're an hour from Philly. The
We
connections.
have the venues.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of upcoming brands and creators out here. There's
And
so
between
much.
our networks and then our extended networks that branch off of that, there's
I've always wanted to do that. I always thought it was lacking in the Valley where there wasn't anyone really doing like a full apparel convention. Because I sat down and was like, well, what would I do? And I was like, oh, well, I'd do a fashion show and everybody that has a booth could have an article that's on there. And then when the people come out, you tell them what booths it's at and like highlight stuff. You can do a couple days out of it. You can do one day out of it if you wanted to. But you
sounds
need a core group of like who's sitting here to like.
Right.
I'm not trying to get wild with like 50 people, but if you got the right location and did it and had food and everybody had the right connections, you can definitely fucking make something that's really cool for the Valley plus be extremely profitable.
at this point in time, 2023, you can definitely do something like that in the Valley.
Yeah.
There's a lot of brands, bro. A lot of brands, and nowadays it's a lot easier to start a brand.
Well,
there's so
that's
many
the one
more
good thing
people
about these
starting
social
brands,
platforms.
you know?
One of the good things
Yeah, I mean,
about
you could start an Instagram
these social
account.
platforms.
Fuck,
It could
start
blow
a
up
brand in a minute.
tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
You post it tonight. Tomorrow you got 15,000 followers. 2 weeks you got 200,000 followers. You don't even need. You literally need a hashtag now. So I mean, it's so easy that I don't see why we wouldn't be able to set something like that up. I'd be down. We definitely need to talk about that off air to see if we can get things rolling, because I know Poe would be on board for something like that.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden we get him on board and he runs the whole goddamn thing. He's smarter than all of us.
Yep,
Yep.
that's how I was gonna happen.
Cool. I guess I mean, this is the first time I'm closing this out, but what do you want to plug as far as your social media or anybody can find out what you're doing?
You could follow both of my stores. One of my stores at Made in Easton, and the store next door is at Hat Project _. Both got websites, madeineaston.com and hatproshop.com. My personal Instagram is made by Nano. And I really appreciate you guys having me here, man.
Yeah.
And I appreciate having this great conversation with you guys. And I'm excited to keep building and keep trying to.
Yeah, you were taking a
Do
piss,
things.
but we're definitely going to bring you back. And
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
co-host
Regular,
situation.
yeah.
And yeah.
Nah, I'm down, bro, and I'll be hyped for that, yo. I really.
I always love
fuck
talking
with it.
apparel.
Yeah. And I just think the three of us chopping it up with whoever would come in here would be it.
And then if no one
Yeah.
makes it or someone can, it's just this, which I don't.
Yeah,
fucking love it.
Yeah.
And it's not like we all move slow. We all move fast enough to have something new to fucking talk about any time we would ever do this. So.
Yeah,
No, I mean,
nah,
it's
I'm
just a
down.
million things to talk about.
Right.
Cool. Tony, you have anything to plug?
At Banco Beverage Company on Instagram, at Tone _Capone. See you guys soon.
Cool.
Tactical tone.
Never Again Studio on Instagram, neveragainstudio.com, Never Again Studio YouTube. It's Never Again Studio everywhere. That's where you can subscribe, like to all this. That's where we're going to build this off of. Thank you guys for listening. Appreciate it. Like, subscribe, comment.
High Life. Can we get that sponsor?
The High Lifes.
Can we get that
brought to you
sponsored?
by Banco.
Alex, talk to your people, Alex.
Highlight.
Catch y'all.